Hi again, it's Robert Page with 813voice.com. I'm coming back to you with a bigger thing that we're going to talk about. It's kind of a more broad, general question that I get often, but we'll talk about that in a second. Right now, I just want to recognize that I am, yes, wearing a Cubs hat since after 108 years, we can finally celebrate a Cubs win. Now, I am from the Tampa area, but my wife is from Chicago, and I've followed the Cubs since the Andre Dawson days. They were the lovable losers. They were my National League team along with the Braves, but I am a Rays fan by heart, but we're going to celebrate what an exciting game that was. Game 7 of the World Series, one of the best World Series I've seen in a long time, and you know, it was such a thrill to sit up and stay up till 1 in the morning to watch this and get that Cubs win. So go Cubbies. We won this for Harry Carey, and Cubs win, Cubs win, Cubs win, holy cow. So that said and out of the way, let's get back to what we're here to talk about. In general, one of the questions I get often if people ask me what it is I do, and if I mention I'm in voice work or I'm a voice actor or I do voiceover, they kind of get it, but they don't exactly get it. And when it comes down to it, they'll ask, okay, so what does that mean, or what do you do? Now, voice acting is a multifaceted career. There are so many different aspects. I'm just going to go over a couple of them and break it down just so people understand. Almost everything you hear walking by a kiosk, going to a park, and you hear the tram announcements, or if you're at a stadium for a game and you hear somebody speaking, or just radio commercials and so forth. All the voices that you hear and faces you don't see, that is considered voice work, voice acting, bar none. It's what it is. But one of the most misunderstood ones are things that get paid the most, and the fewest people that do this get paid the most because they are the elite. Probably maybe 10 people in Hollywood that actually are the main people who do like the movie trailers and the promos for all the movies that are released and all the TV shows that are out there. Now, to explain, a movie trailer, of course, is when you're in the movies and you see the previews, that the coming attractions. They're actually known as trailers, and that's where their job is to give you some escapism and get you transported to the place they're trying to promote, which for the most part is going to be whatever the movie's about. So if it's a space adventure, they're going to try to transport you into space, and that's where you came along with the terms of some of the catchphrases that you hear today that were pretty much we can give that to the father of voiceover at this point, Don LaFontaine, who passed away in 2008. But one of my mentors and somebody I highly looked up to, but he's one of the ones, or he is the one who came up with the whole in a world, in a time, all of those contrasted things, like in a world of red, this man wore blue, things like that. It was always a contrast, one man, 3 enemies, renegade cop, things like that. Just funny catchphrases that you hear and just forget about, but you're transported as soon as you hear the in a world, and you go, okay, what world are we talking about? And that's what their job was on the trailer. You had your different genres of trailer, where sometimes it was light and funny, lighthearted comedy. Then you'll hear like a more smiling, upbeat, like from the makers of whatever, and they're just smiling and happy, and that's what that's about. And then of course you have the promos. The promos are the things you see in between shows. Like let's say you're watching NBC and they're promoting one of the shows on NBC. So you're watching a show, and then all of a sudden, well, actually we'll go do CBS since I'm thinking of this show. You're watching some show on CBS. Let's say you're watching NCIS or something. And all of a sudden they need to do a promo to promote 2.5 Men. So then you hear the voice of 2.5 Men, which is Joseph Cipriano, and you'll hear on an all-new 2.5 Men. He kind of sounds like that, bad impersonation, but it's simple like that. It's just very exciting, grabs your attention. He's also the voice of Deal or No Deal, so it's like on an all-new Deal or No Deal. That's how they do it. So that's a promo. Those guys make 7 figures. I mean, bar none. It's just 7 figures. Don't even question it. They're millionaires. And they just go and work from home and they do all that stuff. But that's the dream. That's the golden ticket. That is the lottery ticket that every voice actor wants to do. Now, however, there are things out there, that don't pay as well, but they still get money for it really well, but not the 7-figure range. But you'll see people doing narrations like what's his name, Max Raphael, which is actually like a pseudonym for him, but he's the one who does like History Channel. He'll do what's the name of that show, Modern Marvels, and you'll see Max Raphael doing a narration for Modern Marvels, and he's great. He's one of the best at it, narration, and he gets paid well. He gets paid better than most people who do narration. But you have other people that are multifaceted that do the promo, trailer, and narration, and that's why they take the lion's share of the money out there. Outside of that, you've got every radio station in the world has radio imaging, which is where you hear the call letters, and they talk about, they'll do the station ID, and they'll talk about, or they'll announce the DJ, or they'll announce a concert that's coming. But for the most part, you're hearing the call letters. So it's like 93.3 FLZ, Tampa Bay. And you'll hear that. That's imaging, because that's the image of the station they want to portray. They want to come off as whatever it happens to be. If it's a country station, it may come up with a southern twang, or it might be a deeper voice guy. If it is a AC, which is adult contemporary, it might be more of a softer tone, or it might have a woman's voice, which is fantastic. It comes out great with a woman's voice. And sometimes they do contrasting things where you hear the big heavy voice, and then you hear the more common everyday voice within that image. So there are a lot of people that make a great living just doing imaging. What I don't want you to lose sight of is there are a lot of commercials that are out there that famous voices are used for commercials. However, they're not used for every commercial, because there's just too many commercials out there. And so that's where people like the people that like me, or anybody that has just come in, that's their best foray into voiceover, is to start off with commercials, because there's so many jobs you can audition for. But then there's areas that you don't think about. A lot of people don't think about is things like the kiosk that I mentioned, or IVR systems, which are the phone systems. Or anything like just any like books books on tape, things like that, or audiobooks. It's a big market right now for people to get into audiobooks, because there are so many people that are writing books that would like them transferred into audio. Now, I will tell you, I've done an audiobook, and it really is painstaking. It's a lot of work, it's a lot of pickups. You got to get it, the read right, the inflections right, and that was a historical nonfiction, about 800 pages. Very boring, but it was interesting. It was my very first book, and still the only book I've done, because I'm kind of debating whether I want to do any more of them, because it took up a month of my time, and for the money it was okay. It just wasn't exactly the amount I wanted to get, but it was still interesting, and it was an experience. But audiobook is one of the areas that a lot of people who just start entering into voiceover go into. So there is, like I said, a myriad of things that you can do in voiceover starting out, even as a pro. And the thing is, it's consistency, getting work and getting clients and getting consistent jobs. That's how you can make a living doing this. As of right now, I only do this part-time because I just have not put myself out there enough to make it a full-time gig. At one point I considered doing it full-time, because I was making some really steady income from one particular client. But again, I still have that client. It's been going about 8 or 9 years now. But it is a fickle business that, unless you're on your toes and do the marketing and just keep at it, you can lose clients, and you can lose jobs. So for me, my day-to-day job, I work 40 hours a week, and then I do the voiceover stuff, pretty much a job or two a month, and that's enough for extra income for me. And I'm not ashamed to say that. I am a voice actor and I'm a voice professional. I get paid to voice things. But I just have not done it to a steady enough stream of income to where I can be confident and quit my day job per se and just do this full time. And I don't mind doing it the way I do it. I can end up doing it one day. I don't know if I will, but that is the dream, is to get that big gig, you know, the voice of Archer or whatever happens to be, some major cartoon, or you know, just finding a bunch of things that you can narrate, or just a steady stream of jobs that are simple and easy, little commercials here and there. Like when I'm done with this right now, I'm going to actually record a commercial for that one client I'm talking about. And that'll only take me about, I don't know, 15-20 minutes once I get it all right and the timing's correct. But there it is, and I'll get a quick $100 or so for that. So it can be great money just on the side, and it's good for me to have that. I put that away. It's my voiceover savings that I put away, and it's helped pay for a lot of things. In fact, all the equipment I've had, I put back into the business from the money I've made with voiceover. So everything you see, not that I've shown everything, but as you can see, the mic and whatever else, I've got an iMac and my monitor speakers and everything like that, the software, all was paid for by voiceover money. So you can do pretty decent, just part-time with voiceover, as long as you care about the craft, you really learn about it, you know, take some online classes that are offered, some webinars, go to any local conventions that may be happening with voiceover. You can learn a lot by watching what a lot of actors do, or a lot of people that are in town doing the conventions. If you go to those things, it costs some money, but it's well worth it. There's nothing like hearing from the voices of experience and what they can tell you. So it's part of the reason I do what I'm doing, to help anybody out that has thought about doing it, to where letting them know that you can get into voiceover and you can do it and make some, you know, decent money. And you may get lucky, who knows, and hit that big jackpot and become the next voice of Nike or something. You know, you never know. But good luck to everybody out there that's doing this. Hopefully this helps you understand the world of voiceover a bit. I know I kind of rambled, but I think I kind of got thrown off thinking about my cubbies. So if anything, if you have any questions, please feel free to put them in the comments. I'll read them. I'll try to answer. I'll even maybe do video answers back. But subscribe if you like this video. I'm going to try to put more up. Again, I haven't done as much as I like to. This is only my third video now, but we'll keep it going, and if there's demand, I'll start making more content. But I'm still going to do it regardless, because I love doing this and I love teaching. So again, go to 813voice.com if you're looking for a voice, or if you want to hear some of my voiceover work, and learn a little bit more about the business, and keep tuning into this channel, and I'll have more and more questions answered every time you come in here.